Hey, good evening. Okay, I hope I have good enough signal for this. Sitting outside. I also hope it doesn't start raining. So I think this is on. Hey. Okay, so I'm outside because everybody in my family is trying to go to bed, I guess. I got a late afternoon nap, so I'm not quite ready to lay down. But the whole house hopefully is asleep at this point. So I came outside and I have this message on my heart tonight, and I really feel like I've been called to share this tonight. But I get out here, get my mind right, getting myself ready, getting ready to say this, and then it starts getting really windy, and I'm like, it's gonna rain. I know there's like all these little pop-up funnel clouds going on. I don't think they'll reach where we live, this far inland, but you never know. So I'm like looking around, hoping it doesn't storm on me. Yeah, Brad is supposed to be in bed right now. We'll see. He'll probably hop on if he's not in bed. But he was laying down, so I came outside. So, oh my gosh, guys. I didn't even know what to title this video, so it's gonna get a new title after. But sometimes I can't even let those little things stop me. I would be sitting here all evening trying to think of a title for this video, and yeah, that's just not even important at this time. So, oh my goodness. So I'm not super prepared for this. So you guys are gonna get the real, the raw, the unfiltered kind of live version, and that's why I like Facebook Live, because if I tried to record this over and over and over and get this message across to people, I would constantly be starting over. Okay, Facebook Live leaves no room for perfection, so you just kind of get the real, the raw, and the unfilteredness. So I was just gonna name this video Intimidation, okay, but I just felt like, okay, not quite sure if that's what I wanted to call it yet, but that's what I'm going to talk about tonight is intimidation, and something that I have been experiencing probably for the better part of my life and everything, but also just more recently, kind of what's going on. So I will tell you guys what. Ooh, man, it's hard. It's hard to put it into words. So when you feel like you're on the cusp of doing something really, really, really big, and you're really working towards something, there might be people out there that don't agree, and they don't get what you're doing. They don't understand what you're doing. That's not aligned with how they live their life. Okay. That's out there. It's out there like no other. And when they don't understand what you're working towards, what passion you're all about, what your priorities are, they'll use many different tactics to start bringing you down. And one that I've experienced is definitely people trying to intimidate me and instilling fear, and just really just trying to talk me out of big things. And I guess I get that. I respect people's opinions, but you can't let it stop you from doing what God's called you to do. And like I said, most of the time when I do live videos like this, I am preaching to the choir, guys. So this is a message that this is something I've been struggling with, a message that I feel like I need to give, but I'll probably have to watch the replay in a couple months and remind myself that, of this exact same thing. So when people don't understand what you're trying to do, and they don't have the calling on their life that has been placed on your life, they will try to intimidate you out of doing that. They'll try to make you feel like you're going to look silly and you're going to fail. They'll try to stop you. They'll make jokes about you to your face, maybe behind your back. They'll do a lot of things to try to get you to stop pursuing. And a lot of times that comes from their place of insecurity, that they don't think that they would ever be able to accomplish what you're about to do. And that's okay, because not everybody is meant to accomplish the same exact thing. Everybody is really on their own unique walk. And I think it's just so important to get so rooted in what you are doing and what your priorities are, to not waver, to not let people's self-doubt of themselves stop you from doing what you were called to do. So I have this really awesome book. I've mentioned it a couple times on Facebook Live. It's called Counseling Through Your Bible Handbook. And there was something that I was reading tonight because I needed this today. So there's something that I was reading today. And the section that I'm reading on is like my self-worth and confidence. And I get this all the time, you guys. Like, I get people who always say, you look so confident. You're so confident. Like, you know, I wish I could be as bold as you. Or I wish I could, you know, be as confident as you. And I tell you what, that's probably one of the things, that's like my kryptonite. That's something I struggle with all of the time, is my self-confidence. There's never a day that goes by where I don't worry, like, am I doing the right thing, or am I going to fail? Am I going to look stupid, or whatever it be? I struggle with this all the time. I don't think it's something that'll ever go away, but I have learned different ways to either amplify it, amplify the bad voices, the things that I don't need to hear, the self-doubt. I've learned ways to amplify the self-doubt, and I've learned ways to mute it. So right now I am on a mission to mute the self-doubt, the naysayers, the self-slander, the things that will bring us down. I am on a mission to do that, and I just thought, well, I'll make this video. I want to share this. I'm going to give you some tips and things that I have been doing that have been working for me, things that I've been working on for many years, things that don't work very well, and I want to give that to you guys, okay? Because I know that each of us were created on purpose, for a purpose, and like I said, if you have people in your life who don't understand that, who don't understand the calling, and who don't see what you were created for, they're going to try to stop you, and they're going to try to stop you from doing things out of intimidation because of their self-doubt and because they don't believe that they could do it. So one of the things that I was reading in my book, this is what it says, is your self-image has been greatly shaped by the messages you received and internalized from others, from your experiences and from your self-talk. When you were a child, you did not have control over who influenced you, but that is no longer the case. You now have to choose, or you now have the choice of who you associate with, and you can certainly control your self-talk. Therefore, by pursuing these paths, you can take an active part in changing this distorted view you have of yourself. The following will help you. Begin seeing yourself as God sees you, a perspective that will accelerate your journey along the road of transformation. So I think that is so important. So you really have to start seeing yourself as how God sees you. And I caught myself saying this to Oakland today. We were in the car and Oakland said something. She's going to be 6 next month, and she said something, and I'm starting to see like those little girl things come out. Like, she just like, that sounded so weird, but I'm starting to see like those like little like self-talks, like those little seeds starting to get planted in her already. She's now starting to worry about like what clothes she's wearing and how her hair looks, and what if somebody laughs at me, and I'm like, baby girl, you need to be so confident that you don't even care what people are going to say about you. So I'm starting to see those things start coming out, and I'm like, man, she is so young, and they start at such a young age, don't they? The insecurities really do start at a young age. So I was talking to her, and she said something about looking like, she's like, I'm not beautiful. And I just stopped right there. And I said, you are beautiful, because when you insult yourself and you say you are not smart enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not this, or you're not that, or you're whatever it is, when you insult yourself, do you realize that you're insulting God's creation, that you're insulting God's work? Because he created you in his image, and he knit you together in your mother's womb, and he made you. So when you insult yourself, you're really insulting God. If you tell yourself you're not smart enough, God stitched together your whole entire being, and you're insulting him. When you say you're not pretty enough, he created you. Like, you're insulting him. He made you uniquely who you are for a reason, on purpose, for a purpose. Like I said, I caught my own 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old, start having that self-doubt and saying that things. And oh my goodness, I just did not want to hear her insult herself and insult God, because that's who he created her to be, and what he created her to look like, and everything. And I think it's so important. So, you know, like what I was reading here, so many things can be planted into us when we were kids, but man, they can get implanted into us. Like, they can get planted into us, these seeds of self-doubt, while we are even older, okay? And I'm telling you what, I have had so many seeds of self-doubt planted in me by other people. But just reading this tonight and just remembering that I have the ability to say no Like, I am not letting what you said in your insecurity and what you're trying to intimidate me with be rooted on my surface. Like, it's not even gonna get in, and it's not even gonna take up root and take up life in me. Is so important. And so I have completely decided, like, as of today, like, that I am not letting other people's insecurities and self-doubt take root into me. There's not enough time for that. There's not enough space for that. There's not enough energy for that. And if I am distracted by everybody else's opinions and concerns and their intimidation tactics, I am being distracted from what I've really been called to do. So I think that's so important. The next thing it says on here is stop striving for perfection or trying to be like someone else. So that is so important. Oh my goodness, like, there's just so much out there. This comparison theory is so stinking real. It is so real. It's out there everywhere. I often will think, like, oh my gosh, my Instagram is a hot mess, and it's not, like, my grid isn't, cute, and my colors are all crazy. And I often think that, and then I'll think, oh my gosh, no, this is the real me. I don't got time for filters. I don't got time for fake belief. Like, this, you're just gonna get the real or all the ugly, and that's why you're getting this while I'm sitting outside on this windy night in this weird lighting. It's just because when the message comes, you just have to do it. So stop trying to be like everybody else. I seriously think that being transparent, being authentic, being you, being true to you is going to get you so much further, and it's going to make you feel so much better, because all the other personalities are taken. If you didn't happen to know that, they're all taken. So there's only room for you to be you. Okay? And then this is a big one. I even have this circled and, like, underlined and everything. It says, realize that the Lord made you for a purpose, and that he designed your personality and gave you the gifts and the abilities that you need in order to accomplish his purpose for you. So those gifts are already inside you. Those abilities are already inside of you. You don't have to go out there and take another course, and you don't have to go out there and get a college degree or get a certificate or whatever it be. Those gifts and those abilities are already inside of you, and nobody else gets to determine if you're smart enough to do something. Nobody else gets to determine if you should do something. They don't get to do that. And I'm telling you what, people will try to intimidate you out of doing something just because they can't see that happening in themselves. So this is all coming from this whole thing about, if you feel like you're being called to do something, if you feel like you were made to do something, if you feel like if you were made to speak on a certain topic, or you have a passion about something, go with it. Why wouldn't you? God placed that seed inside of you for a reason, and stop apologizing for it. I do this all the time. I apologize, and I feel like I am too bold. Like, I am too far out there for too many people, and then I try to, like, tone it down a little bit, and then I'm like, hold on, that doesn't feel like I'm being me. There's been a lot of situations where I've kind of just muted myself, and I won't speak my opinion because I'm like, ooh, they might not like that. Like, they like to be the opinionated one, so I better just not speak in this situation. And it's like, I'm not being true to myself if that's the case, when I'm so full of, like, an opinion that I just feel like, could help a conversation. So, those gifts and those abilities were placed inside of you. They weren't a mistake, so stop apologizing for them. Just be bold in who you are, and just remember, if you're rooted in what you know is aligned with God, then there's no wavering from that. Like, who are you trying to please? I mentioned before that I go to counseling, and it is the best thing that I have ever, did in my entire life. It is seriously, it's seriously the best self-care ever. And I have no shame in saying that anymore. I love it. I have grown so much, so much. And there's just something that I've really learned. It's, just stop apologizing for feeling like, you're doing something that's going to upset other people, especially when it's something that's God has called you to do. If that's the case, would I rather disappoint somebody sitting here watching a Facebook Live, or would I rather disappoint God, who is who determines the rest of my life, my fate? sorry guys, I'm gonna let you down. And it's a hard thing to decide that. It's a hard thing to be bold in that. It's a hard thing to declare that you're gonna start working for God instead of working for man, and you're gonna start, seeking his approval instead of everybody else's approval. But you just need to become so rooted in that. So the big tactical tip that I walked away from today, and then I'm going inside to work on this now. And if you are watching this video and you feel like you've been called to do something, or you're really working on something in your life, or there's something that you stand so firm for, like there's just no ifs, ands, or buts, but this is a priority in your life, or this is something important in your life, do this with me. Do this with me, and you can even send me a message, or you don't have to, or you can just say, hey, I did this, or whatever, or just don't even let me know you did it. That's fine. But something that I am doing right now is writing down where my priorities are in life, and things that are so important to me. Things that people are not going to intimidate me to not speak about. Things that there's just no way around it. This is who I am. This is part of who I am. And there's no stopping me or making me feel like what I'm standing for is crazy. Okay. I know it's getting a little dark out here, and this light is really weird and kind of looks green. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. That's my big tip, is to write that down. Write down what you are rooted in, the truth that you are rooted in. For me, one of the biggest things is I've had people tell me I'm completely crazy for, the financial decisions and things like that we make. And it's like, nope, that's something I stand so rooted in, something that I strongly believe in, that no matter what they say, I'm not going to waver on that. Like that's part of that's part of this. Another thing is, people will say you're going to make yourself look a fool if you start a business and go out there. And it's like, no. Like, I know that the entrepreneur lifestyle for me is what's best for me. It's what I was created to do. So you can tell me what you think about it. You can tell me I'm going to look crazy. You can tell me I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall flat on my face, but that's okay, because I am so rooted in that. You're not going to change my mind. And there's a list going on and on and on and on and on. And like I said, I'm going to take that time, and I'm going to go in, and I'm really just going to focus on that. Like, I'm going in. I hope that whole family is asleep, because I need some me time tonight. But really identify what your priorities are. Identify what your core things are in your life. Things that people are not going to try to silence you and intimidate you out of speaking on. And then just really dig deep. Just really think about those things. I don't know if this message came across anybody else. Oh my gosh, that lightning bug scared me. I don't know why. I didn't know what was falling from the sky, but it's a lightning bug. I don't know who this message was for. Maybe it was just made for myself, because what I have been facing a lot is people trying to cast their self-doubt, cast their fears on me, and trying to, it really stalled me out for a while. But I'm done apologizing for who God created me to be. This girl, the mute button is off. You catch me on a day. I'm just going to start saying it. I have decided not to, obviously I will be very respectful, but, I'm not going to apologize for, things that I believe in and things that I am rooted in, and neither should you. You shouldn't let people stop you. You shouldn't let their self-doubt keep you from being who you were created to be. Because like I said in this passage, what was shared tonight is that God gave you the abilities. He gave you the gifts. Don't let a human, don't let a person try to stop you from using the gifts that were placed inside of you. Because if you do, you're insulting God. That's the bottom line, guys. So I hope you have a great night. Getting a little light, but I am ready to go in and just write it all down. I'm ready to go declare it, like put it in stone, and just seriously declare it. So I hope you guys all have a great night, and we'll talk again soon.